Hello again, basketball fans. Welcome to another edition of High School Hoops Weekly. I am Aaron Schoonmaker, joined as always with Powell, Latimore. We are at the Time Warner Cable Holiday Classic. It's nothing but cleaning up and goodbyes behind us because the championship game just went down. It was a great game, as was the semifinal game. Pal, you've been here all weekend. Talk us through it.
Absolutely. I have been here all weekend, watched all 12 of the games this weekend. First of all, Southview just got done cleaning up with a great game against East Bladen in the finals. That was a 48-46 win for Southview there. Rachel Temple came out of nowhere. She was sick last game, a guard that was not highly touted like some of the recruits on the floor were tonight. But the Southview guard scored 16 points, including the game-winning basket with 3 seconds to go. And Southview came away with the win there. Courtney Melvin for East Bladen, you've heard that name before. 87 points in 3 games. She had 36, 30, and 21 points. They held a little bit in check tonight. So that's the championship game. In the third place game, we had Hoggard taking down Havelock in another bit of theatrics. Yeah. Hoggard came down from a 14-point deficit in the fourth quarter. Carissa Corbett, Mackenzie Edwards had 26 of 28 points in the fourth quarter for Hoggard to come out with that win against Havelock to take third place. And fifth place, Ashley. All those places are wrapped up. This tournament's wrapped up. Also out in Wallace-Rose Hill, the Wallace-Rose Hill girls have won 5 games in the last 2 seasons, but they just won their 7th game of this, or their 2nd game of the season tonight. They played in the finals tonight against North Brunswick. We'll be checking, and we'll have some more updates with you for how they did. The Wallace-Rose Hill boys had to cancel most of their games because, as you know, they were busy, doing that whole football thing. But they split their first 2 games, and they're playing again tonight. So that's been the action this week for the 2 tournaments this week.
Absolutely. This weekend here in particular, Brogden Hall, from day one, it was some really good action. Just the 4 local teams and also the teams coming in.
Absolutely. You had Havelock with a lot of athleticism coming in. You had Southview with Sydney Cook, which is one of the top recruits in the state as a junior already. And you had outside, and Pender, obviously always a very tough team. They'll play anybody. Gary Battle's a great coach, and that team did pretty well.
We had Hoggard, who had a couple good first days, earned their way into the 3rd place game.
Absolutely. Ashley also played very well in that opening. Very tough teams. Hoggard and Ashley are going to be really tough to watch out for coming down the stretch of the Mid-Eastern Conference. So a lot of good things to watch out for coming down here. Some good indicators of what's going to happen going forward.
Absolutely. Well, that's behind us for right now. Let's look ahead to next week after the holidays and the boys get into some action.
Absolutely. You've heard this name before too. Leon Brogden, that tournament, yeah, that's happening next week after Christmas. So unwrap some presents, sit around in your bathrooms for a couple days, and then come on out to Trask Coliseum at UNCW. That's going to be a fun tournament to watch. The 4 area teams are about as good as they've been in recent history. I mean, there's Division I recruits on all these teams. We've talked about them at length before. It's going to be fun to watch. They got teams coming in from Pennsylvania. Sulwicki Academy out in Pennsylvania, the defending single A state champs out in Pennsylvania. Great program. You got Bunn coming in from just outside of Raleigh. Millbrook, which barely lost to Hoggard in overtime earlier this year. That coach is still a little bit riled up about that one. He wants to get another crack at the Vikings. And you've got Southview, the boys team, coming in. So there's a lot of good things are going to be happening here. A lot of good basketball going on just down the road at Trask Coliseum.
Absolutely. We've got some college recruits. We got a college arena. Look for a college atmosphere. A couple days after the holidays, we're going to be there just as we were here all weekend to bring you all those highlights and all those details. If you could sum up this weekend and this tournament in a couple words, what would you say?
Got to be comebacks. You had East Bladen coming back out of nowhere. Really came back strong. They trailed in the first at halftime and into the 3rd quarter and managed to pull back and make it a really close game. And you had Hoggard with that ridiculous comeback, 14 points. I mean, if you haven't seen this, ask your friends. Check out any pictures we got about it. That's a big deal. Yeah, comebacks and a lot of good experience. All the coaches have said this is a great experience for this tournament. East Bladen and Southview tend to blow out a lot of their opponents, but everybody gave them tough games this week. So a lot of good things going forward.
Absolutely. Well, we had a great time here. Hope you have a great time checking out these highlights. You're already on the website, so keep checking out all the stats, details, information, and everything this kid writes. We're going to come back to you next week from the boys tournament at Trask Coliseum. Until then, you guys have good and keep checking it out.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas.